Hello and welcome to another edition of The Slice. Here on The Slice we talk about everything from ancient alien theory to extraterrestrial visits in the future, past, and current. We also talk about abductions and other interesting items of archaeology and out-of-place artifacts. Make sure you check out Matthew Bauer's site on www.therealmj12eyes-to-the-sky.com, and also check out Clarence Mitchell with his Blog Talk Radio, and Kimberly Wright with her Ancient Aliens Chat every Friday night during the show, before the show and after the show. So make sure you check all that out. And now let's get on with this week's subject on The Slice. Enjoy the show, folks, and make sure you comment and subscribe. Take care now. Hi, folks. Welcome to Slice. In this episode, we're going to look at that Jerusalem UFO that hovered over the Dome of the Rock and then shot up into the sky. I was lucky enough to go to Boston recently and work with some friends of mine at MIT, and we put it through some thermal imaging and stuff like that, and did some really up close investigation of the actual item. So let's go look at the original unedited version of the event. Now this includes some previously unseen footage that was never included in a lot of the videos that I've seen out there. Excuse me. This is the unadulterated, pure footage. Then we're going to go look at some processed footage and then check that out. So let's look at that now. Okay, so here we have the light over the dome. You notice it's drifting to the left a little bit there. See that? Yeah, that's nice. But you'll notice also there's an upright in that light that you can't quite make out because of the light at the bottom is so bright. Now you see what I say is shots from the ground, sends that baby up into the sky, but look what happens. You see all these little lights? Notice that there's almost a circular thing up there, a big black circle that these lights are within. You can almost see the edges of it at one point here, coming up somewhere. Come on, baby. Yeah, see how that's got an edge to it? Very interesting. Okay, so the strangest part of that was the lights at the end. This led us to believe that the object was a drone of some sort and not an actual manned vehicle. Now, we also believe that this item was cylindrical in shape, standing on end, with the power source or whatever the light generation was kind of blocking a lot of that out. You can see it, but it's you can see it better when we go to the thermal, which we'll do now. Okay, so here we have the MIT thermal imaging. As you can see, you can see the tip of the rod on the bottom and the lights in the buildings in the front. Now that is where the big flash comes from, is from that row of buildings just above the MIT logo there. So as it drifts over and then they fire at it, it seems like they fire at it. You see a bulge in the power at the source of that light over the dome, and then it blasts itself up out of the way. Okay, so here comes the firing on it. You'll see where it comes from. See that? It comes from down below, and then second later the thing shoots up into the sky. Okay, so now we have the thermal, which you can see, as I said before, in when we were looking at it, the flash from the ground seems to be Israeli forces firing on the object, which initiated the object's leaving. Now that thermal imaging was at 50% speed. So let's go and look at the original footage again, also at 50% speed, and you'll start to see what we're talking about. And let's do that now. Okay, so in this clip we see it's half speed, so slow-mo. You see it drifting over. You can see a point at the top and a point at the bottom if you look carefully. So the power source that's keeping it up in the air is what's causing the bright light. It's probably an electromagnetic type of source. Now when this flash happens, notice where it comes from. It comes from those lights of the city just in front of it. Seems to be like an artillery shell or something fired at it. Watch this. This is crazy. When that goes, it brightens the whole sky. It has nothing to do with that object. That object is just minding its own business pretty much until that happens. And the rest is history. So what we're dealing with here seems to be an attack on the object by the Israelis. Now I have a note out, an email out, trying to get confirmation from the Israelis about this, but based on past experiences with them, they don't get back to me, so I doubt I'll get a response. Alright, we're coming up on the part where they shoot at it. Now check this out. And there you go. See, it came from the ground. It's obvious it came from the ground, right in the center almost. And then, boom. Okay, so that's all of it, folks. That's you can come to your own conclusions. My conclusion is that the dots in the air were whatever was controlling the item on the ground. That's purely my take on it after talking to the experts and doing some research on it and examination of the film. Welcome your comments and ideas. As usual, nobody knows for sure what happened there, but it sure does open up a lot of possible avenues for discussion. We certainly don't have all the answers, and we probably never will on this subject. But once again, that's Slice for this week, folks. Let's talk about it, and I'll be back online soon, commenting and throwing in my 2 cents as usual very shortly. December 2nd is when I'm supposed to be fired back up. We had a bit of an issue. So, the trip starts as soon as I can get rid of the house. So I'm looking forward to all that, folks. So thanks for watching, and see you next time on The Slice. Okay, folks, that sums up another edition of The Slice with your host, Bill Peters. Theory Group, I'd like to thank you all. And don't forget, check out The Real MJ12, EyesToTheSky.com. That's right, and Happy Vowels will take you on a journey that you won't soon forget. Don't forget it. Kimberly Wright and her every Friday during the Ancient Alien Show. She has her live chat. And Clarence Mitchell at his Blog Talk Radio. Check it out, folks. See you next time on The Slice.